till she decided to go back to school. Another important thing that mothers need to remember: stop giving up on your children. Fathers, stop giving up on your kids. Remind them every day that they need to change their lives. Don't do it in a way that, holier than thou, but just do it. Remind them that they're special. Remind them that they would not be here unless there was some purpose for them. They might not seem to listen at first, but it's moving slowly into their heads. And finally it will get into their hearts. And when it gets there, then they will change. And they will come back one day. Don't give up. Keep telling them. So she even decided to clear her fourth form at Kanyasrega High School. She decided to go back to school in 2003. And she cleared in 2004 with a C+. And she's very proud of that C+. And she speaks about it on all platforms wherever she goes. Now imagine if she had a parent who would, pound her for getting a C+, a parent who wanted an A. How would that make her feel? She had been through a lot and she felt that this is what she could get, and she got that. And she was proud of it. Parents, remember, what you think your child should get is not as important as what your child thinks she should get. And you should evaluate her success or his success based on what they believe their abilities was and how they actualize those abilities. Do not let your own thoughts come into the equation. Their pride in themselves is enough for that day. Tomorrow you can encourage them to do more. So anyway, she would drop the kids at kindergarten. That this is when she was going to school, right? And then she should proceed to school. She was going to school 2 kilometers away from where she was married. The school was in her hometown, but 2 kilometers away. So imagine walking 2 kilometers. I think that's tough. And then you have kids. And in the evening, she would pick them from the teacher's house. So the teachers gave her some kind of support. And then take her home. And then she would not go and revise and all those things. She would go and sell omena for 1 hour to get some cash. She says her parents supported her in terms of school fees. She did not pay much when she was going to school. So again, the support of the parents is important. When people make mistakes and they don't have the support of their parents, then what happens is that they keep on digging deeper and deeper into their mistakes. And in some cases, they never recover. But when you give your child support, when you just stay as a foundation where they can come back to, one day they will come back and they will need that foundation. Woe unto those who don't have that foundation. Be glad if you have a foundation, somebody that will take you back when you mess up, right? So her husband got a job in Nairobi. He took the children to Nairobi where he got the job, and he enrolled her in a boarding school in Migori County, right? So now she could focus on education, all of those things. So when she cleared school, got a C+, she joined her husband in Nairobi, which is very, very nice. Once again, it's a family. Having survived being kicked out by the in-laws, getting back together after he cleared campus, and now back together when he has a job. And they started from a humble beginning, because she says her friends would give them household stuff like mwikos, sufurias, and mattresses. How did you start out in life? Most of us started out with a mattress, flat on the floor. 1 sufuria or 2 sufurias, and a small gas cylinder. Other things came about. We all start from somewhere. Even Akothee. So her first husband, and this is, I think, where people need to get, I think, the signs that things might be wrong. She wanted to be a cabin crew, right? Remember? And then she told her husband, because she got the fee structure of some institution. And then her husband looked at it, and it was 70,000. And he laughed sarcastically. And you see, certain things are not clear signs, but they are signs of something. She toiled for 7 years as a househelp for her mom as he cleared whatever school. And perhaps her husband saw her, in a different light. 70,000 for you to advance. What? How much had he spent in university? She was asking for 70,000. What happens when you ask for your dreams? How does your husband or your better half or your wife respond? So that was, I think, the first sign of something, but something. That perhaps her position in her marriage, her understanding of it, and then the understanding of her husband, very different. So she gives an instance of something else. There was no sexual intimacy for the last 6 months of her marriage. And remember, I did a story on Joseph Korir and the murders that took place, the murder of his wife by Judy. And one of the things that Joseph's first wife, Grace, noticed was that her husband did not want to be touched. And at that time, there was another woman. In this case, no sexual intimacy for 6 months. She did not say that there was another woman, but based on my opinion, when the people do not want you to be close to them, it's usually because there's somebody who is now close to them. And whenever you touch them, you're interfering with the fantasies of that other person. So anyway, sadly, her husband left her for another woman after he started getting wealthy. So now the money is coming in. And they say that men change when the money comes in. Many of them do. I'd say that. So she says that perhaps she wasn't romantic, and that's why he got bored with her. She even remembered the dates. On October 6, 2006, that's when he dumped her with 3 kids. And he moved on with another woman. Yes. And he left the kids with the mother-in-law in the village. And the kids used to call her, telling her that they are suffering. So what happened? Akothee, at some point, she stole the kids from her husband. And if you read many stories, or if you hear many stories of many women, that happens a lot. They steal their kids from their husband because they want to be with their kids. And she booked a 1-bedroom house in Mombasa, 15k, and they stayed there. So even at this point, what you will get is that Akothee is kind of like the victim. That's what you'd get from this analysis. And like, she was a house help, she wanted to advance, let's say, her dreams in the cabin crew. He laughed sarcastically at her. He left her for another woman. The in-laws chased her out. As in, there's a lot that would show that Akothee is the victim. But life is not always black and white, is it? Because in one interview, Akothee says that she would hide from her house when they were in Nairobi, and she would go to dance at Ronaldo. Why would you hide from your house and go to dance at Ronaldo? And when you go there, what is your husband thinking? Another case. When she was out of the marriage, she was hanging in Nairobi. She had friends who were already married, and some were dating wazungus. So, from what I'm guessing, right, she was not, of course she was not a saint. And at the same time, she was a victim. And it's never black and white. And perhaps, you know, when somebody wants to kick you out, all they need is just some kind of justification to kick you out or to bring somebody else in. And when they find justification, they will use it, right? And at the same time, if you are always looking for something, always seeking something, even you, it's only a matter of time before you jump out and look for something else. Because there's something burning within you. There's somehow you want to be. And perhaps that's not the way your husband views you within that marriage. And as Genghis Khan, one of the opponents of Genghis Khan once said, there cannot be two suns under the sun. Either the husband will give way to the wife, or the wife will give way to the husband. So anyway, I'm just saying that not everything she wasn't a saint, but at the same time she was a victim of her circumstances. Okay, so I think I'll just leave it at that. There's a Southeast story where she goes to her friends, they tell the watchman to tell them that they are not there, which is very sad, but friends do that. Yeah, again, she mentioned that this is some of her friends who are already married and dating Wazungus. She did not have good company, in my opinion, because of course that's not a good friend. But I'll mention that as in time goes. So I really want to know who the husband married. I want to know the picture of the woman that he wanted. And I want to juxtapose that with Akothee, so that now I can see the husband and perhaps now not be so judgmental on him. But I don't know who he married, so I can't analyze that. Perhaps you know, comment in the section below. So when he was getting wealthy, he left Akothee. Very sad. So what happened to Akothee?